My name is Candace, aka Picasso baby, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create your very own date night at the fireworks painting. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for stopping back by to paint with me today. So today I'm going to be showing you something super fun but super cute. It's been a while since we've done a date night painting. So I've decided to do a date night at the fireworks painting because it's the summer and fireworks are definitely happening and it's a super fun and cute date to go on. So let's make it a painting for you and your boo to do on your next date night. So before we get started, as always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and turn on those post notifications so that you do not miss the next tutorial. So I'm going to go over everything that you need for today's painting, and as always, you can find everything linked in the description below. I am working with a 16 by 20 inch canvas today. Remember, you can use the canvas size of your choice. It's completely up to you. You also want to make sure that you have a water cup with cold water for your brushes, some napkins or paper towel to dry your brushes off on. And then you want to make sure you have some different size brushes. I like to work with a bigger flat brush, a medium round brush, and a smaller teeny tiny brush for details. But you can use any assorted brushes that you have or any that you can find. And then as always, I am working with acrylic paint. I'm using the colors phthalo blue, burnt sienna, bright red, chrome yellow, titanium white, and Mars black. And then as far as date night goes, remember, if you are 21 and up, grab yourself a nice little adult beverage, maybe a cocktail, maybe some wine, and whatever snacks or anything that you'd like to have while you're painting. And let's get started. So one more thing you want to make sure that you have is a Sharpie or some kind of pencil, something to draw with, because we are going to draw out the silhouette of our little couple watching the fireworks before we actually start to paint. Now, I always suggest starting off with a pencil for your drawing. That way you can erase it if you don't like how it turns out. And once you get it how you want it, you can go over your pencil lines with a Sharpie marker. And I'm just using a fine point Sharpie marker. But again, you can start with the marker or you can start with the pencil. It's completely up to you. So keep in mind, as you're adding in the couple, you can choose to make your couple however you like. It is completely up to you. I'm going to start by drawing in my guy, and I want to draw him in first because I'm going to have the girl kind of leaning over. But again, you can set it up however you like and draw yours in however you like. It is completely up to you. But I'm going to start off, again, I'm using my permanent marker. And I'm going to draw my guy in. So I want to kind of get just the shape of his head in first. And I'm not going to go up too high because I do want to leave room for like water around them and then fireworks as well. So I'm not going to go anywhere above like pretty much the half point. I'm not going to go above that. And if you need to know where that is, you can draw yourself a quick little line just so that you know not to go above that point. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of make an oval first, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to end up painting right over this. And then from the oval, I want to pull two lines down like it's his neck. And keep in mind, I am making this a silhouette, so everything's going to get drawn in black. So I'm not going to add too many details. But I'm going to go in and I'm going to put his shoulder on one side and just pull it down. And then I'm going to go back in on his head. And right towards the middle, I want to do two little curves for his ears. And you can even kind of pull a line across the head to make sure that the ears are matched up or a bit even. And once you have that, I'm going to go back in and give him some hair too. So I'm not going to make it, if you want it bigger, or if you want it like however your partner's hair is, feel free to do it like that. I'm just going to kind of make it more a bit boxy, like he has a tapered haircut almost. So you see how I just kind of made it just a bit boxy there. And then I'm not going to worry too much about this shoulder. I'm going to pull it out just a bit, but I'm not going to actually go all the way down because now I'm going to draw the girl leaning on him. So for hers, what I want to do is I am going to do another oval, but this time it's going to be to the side there. Now, same thing. I'm not going to do too many details because I'm going to end up filling this all in. But I am going to pull one little line down for her neck. And then I'm going to give her a bit of a shoulder and just pull it over there. So you see how you kind of got your couple going there. And again, remember, you put your partner in however you like. It's completely up to you. But I am going to also give her a little bit of hair. Now, if you want to keep it shorter, for example, you could come right from the top of the head and just pull some hair right to her neck. Pull a little bit on the side there. Give her like a little bob almost. I am going to do more of a little bit of a wavy hairstyle. So I'm actually going to do some little waves there. I'm going to come on this side and do some little waves there as well. And because I'm doing those little waves, I'm going to pull her shoulder out just a little bit more. But again, once you have your couple in how you want it, we're going to move on to the next step. And just remember, you don't have to worry about any actual details or clothing because we're going to fill it in with black because it's going to end up being a silhouette. So let's go ahead and start to paint. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and get my sky pretty much filled in. My sky is going to be darker because, of course, you do fireworks at night. So you want it to be a bit blacker so that we can add those sparks of color in the sky. So I'm working with my larger brush. And I'm going to take some black. And I am going to pull a line. Not across the middle. I want to go up a bit from their heads. So remember, we kind of made sure that they were below the middle line. Now I'm going to go above the middle line just a bit. And I'm just going to pull that line over. Now, before I start to fill this completely in with black, I want to get a few different colors on here. So I'm going to take some red and just do a few patches of it. I'm going to take some blue and do a few patches of it as well. Now, I'm going to go back into my black. I didn't wash my brush. I'm going to go back into my black and I'm going to start to fill this in. And you'll see as you're doing this, it's going to blend out different colors in different areas. You might get like some darker purple. That is completely fine because we do want some color in our sky. And I'm just literally going over everything. I'm not picking up any more of the other colors. I'm only picking up black. And I'm just going to paint right over everything. All right, so now that I have that blended, I am going to go back in and do one more thing just to lighten it up a bit. I'm going to pick up a little bit of white, and I'm not washing my brush, just picking up some white. And I'm going to go right at the bottom line. So I'm still working on the black, but I'm only doing this at the bottom near that original line. I'm blending this out. I don't want it to stay completely white. I want it to go gray. So you want to make sure that you do this while your black paint is still wet, and you want to blend it out, just going back and forth across to get some really nice strokes in there. And part of this is because we want it to be a bit lighter at this area because this is where they shoot up from, and also because normally it's a bit smoky where the fireworks actually kind of shoot up from. So I want to make this area just a little smoky, not too much. And I'm not going to wash my brush. I'm going to keep going with this dirty brush because I want some colors to blend out. So now I am going to pick up some blue and I'm just going to line this up. I'm going across this line here because I don't want this. This is going to be my water, and I don't want there to be any space between my water and my sky. Now, I'm not going to fill my water in completely with blue. I do want my water to be a little bit darker because when you're watching the fireworks, it's at night, so the water is a bit darker. But I want the water around my couple to be a little bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with just blue on my brush. So I didn't wash my brush though, but I'm only picking up blue at this point. And I'm going to work around my couple, just very lightly going back and forth across until I get the area around them filled in. If you get anything on your stencil, it's okay. As long as you can still see it, you'll be able to paint right over it when we start to fill them in. So again, I'm going in with just my blue. Not going too far out to the edges just yet. And you want to get right next to your couple. Now that we have the area around them a little bit lighter, I'm going to do, before I take this blue off my brush, I'm going to go back in and add just a little bit of blue right in my sky, just towards the middle. Just towards the middle there. And again, I'm not going to wash my brush. Still working with this dirty brush with all of these colors. I'm going to go in on the sides with black. And I'm pulling in from the sides. I'm not bringing it all the way in. I'm just kind of overlapping where I ended the blue at. And you can even pick up a little bit of blue on your brush with the black. You just want to make sure that the edges of your water are darker than the center of your water that's around your silhouette. But don't go too close to them with this black because they're going to also be painted with black. So you don't want it to match too much. And remember, you can pick up a little blue here and there just to give it a little extra detail. So same thing on this side. All right, now once you have all of your water filled in, we're gonna do one more thing before we take a quick break. You know, we always gotta take a drying break. But before we do that, I wanna fill my silhouette in. So I'm gonna use my medium-sized round brush. You can use this brush or you can use your smaller brush, whichever one you're comfortable with. And you're gonna use just black paint, and you're gonna get your silhouettes completely filled in. I like to go in and outline my silhouettes first, just so that I keep that shape really, really nice. And then I fill it in completely with black. All right, now once you have your silhouette filled in, your backgrounds filled in, I know it's looking a little bit dark at this point, but remember, we're gonna add in some lights and some fireworks, so we're gonna brighten it up just a bit. But we do wanna take a quick drying break before we can do that. So remember, if you don't wanna take a break, you can always grab a blow dryer and blow dry it on the cool setting just until it's completely dry. You'll know it's completely dry when it's no longer shiny. Or if you do decide to take a break, give yourself about 10 to 15 minutes to let it dry, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, and then we'll start back on the next step together.
3 days later.
All right, so now that we've given our painting a little bit of time to dry, we're going to go in and light it up. We're going to add some fireworks in. So I am going to go in with my smallest brush. You can use the medium brush if you're comfortable with that, but I'm just going to use the smaller one so I can get thinner lines. And what you're going to do, you can go in and use the colors of your choice. So what I like to do is, for example, if I want to do like red, I like to do all of my red fireworks first, then switch to the next color until you get as many of the different colors on there that you want. So I'm going to go in with red first, just as an example. And I'm going to be doing two things with this. So you can do things as quick as like just really quick lines. You can make it where they're all kind of bursting out of one. So for example, I just did like 4 quick lines. They're all coming out of the same point. You can make them just come up from the bottom there. Wherever you want to see these at, it's completely up to you. I'm going to pull a few quick lines there. But what I'm also going to do as I'm adding these lines in, and again, just so that you can get a quick view of it, you're just quickly pulling these lines. You want to start with a good amount of pressure and then let up on your pressure so that it ends with a thin line. But wherever I put a firework at, so while I'm working with my red, for example, I'm going to also go down in the water and do a few quick lines underneath it as if that is the reflection of the firework in the water. So that's why you want to go one color at a time so that you can do those 2 steps together. So for example, I'm going to do a few little quick lines there. I'm going to do some here. And they don't all have to be at the top of the water. Some can be lower, wherever you want to see them at. But you just want to make sure that wherever you put a firework at, you want to go down in the water and make little lines going across for the reflection. So now that I have some red in there, actually I'm going to add just a little more red. Go in and make those bigger. I'm going to add a little one here. So now that I have that, I am going to wash my brush. And I'm going to switch to yellow. So I'm doing this the same way. Just make sure to wash your brush off, but you're doing the same thing. Pulling those lines wherever you want to see them to create that firework look. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of blue. And I know this is dark, so your blue might be a little bit of dark on the background. That's okay. Still go in with some of your blue. And now you can even start to mix up colors. So for example, I'm going to mix up a little bit of purple by mixing up my red, a little bit of blue, a little bit of white. Or if you have purple paint, you can use that. But I'm going to do a little bit of purple just to get some other colors in there. And remember, add the reflection lines down in the water. I'm also going to do a little bit of orange. So I'm going to mix up some red and yellow. And I'm going to add some of that in. And same thing, going in and adding it in the water as well. Now the last color I'm going to add in, and you want to make sure you wash your brush for this one, I'm going to add in some white. So for my white, you can do 2 things with this. You can do it the same way we've been doing it, just pulling it out wherever you want to see it to create the firework, and then adding it into the water as well. you can overlap some of the other fireworks to give it a little extra color. And if your paint is still wet, it'll even blend and make it a little bit lighter. But again, that part's completely up to you. It's absolutely optional. The same thing, I'm gonna go into my water and I'm gonna add some little reflection lines. Now, one thing I'm also going to do with the white, I am going to give my couple a little bit of a highlight. And the highlight will also kind of help you add little bits of detail. So, for example, I am going to kind of follow the curve that I put there for her hair. But I'm also going to just add a few lines where her hair would actually be at. So just to give it a little bit of highlight, and you can also add a little bit of black to your brush to kind of dim that down a bit so that all of the lines are not super, super bright. And then same thing for my guy. I am going to follow the curves that are already there. Some highlights as well. All right. Now, once you feel like you have enough highlights on them, if there is anything else that you would like to add in, maybe you want to let it dry and add some words. Maybe you want to add your names or something in the water or in the sky. It's completely up to you what you add. But before you are completely finished, the last thing you want to make sure to do is simply sign your name. So I'm just doing my initials right there in the corner. Remember, you can sign it however you like. And once you sign your painting, you are officially done. And you now have your very own date night at the fireworks. Thank you all so much for painting with me today. I hope you enjoyed your date night with your boo or your bae, creating your very own date night at the fireworks painting. And remember, if you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and turn on those post notifications. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.